Our first guest today is Dr. Ryan Tighe of Novant Health, Oceanside Family Medicine in Southport. Thank you so much for joining us today. It's a pleasure to have you on the show.
Thank you.
Well, let's talk a little bit about you. Tell me about yourself. Tell me about your education and your background.
Okay, as far as education is concerned, I finished my undergraduate degree at University of Toledo, and that's in Toledo, Ohio. Mm-hmm. And then I got my medical degree at West Virginia School of Osteopathic Medicine, mm-hmm. and that is in Lewisburg, West Virginia. And then I just recently finished residency here in the area at New Hanover Regional Medical Center.
Good, so you're familiar with the area. And
yes, very familiar with the area, with the providers.
Mm-hmm.
So,
well, that's great. Where are you originally from?
Originally, I'm from Northeast Ohio. Uh-huh. Some of you have heard of Akron, Ohio.
Sure.
I'm from a small suburb outside of there.
Uh-huh. So. Yeah. So you mentioned that you are, your training is as a doctor of osteopathy.
Right.
So some of our folks in the area may not be familiar with that term. Talk a little bit about how osteopathic medicine differs from internal medicine.
Okay. So really it's not a specialty,
mm-hmm.
a different specialty, it's just a different way of looking at things. So we go to medical school just as our MD counterparts do.
Sure.
But it's a different, they try to say it's a different philosophy. So
mm-hmm.
we do more hands-on mm-hmm. type approach. So there's two types of physicians that practice medicine, MDs and DOs.
Mm-hmm.
And with our osteopathy background, we learn a hands-on approach called OMT, mm-hmm. and that helps you to just use more of a hands-on approach to diagnose and to treat
uh-huh.
different illnesses.
Uh-huh.
So we get the same curriculum as MDs, and then we get an additional 400 plus hours in musculoskeletal training.
Mm-hmm. And I know there are some in the area who actually do manipulations on shoulders mm-hmm. or backs or whatever. And we've had quite a few doctors of osteopathy on our show before, so it's not a new terminology, but mm-hmm. oftentimes folks are just a little confused by that term.
Right.
So, right. But it's much more common here now than it used to be.
It is, yeah, and there's actually a new medical school that just opened up in the area, Campbell University.
Right.
They're going to be producing some osteopaths. Hopefully they'll stick around in the area. That's kind of the goal of it.
Yeah, so. And that's a great school too. The students coming out of that school are always well trained. So that's exciting that they're opening up an osteopathic program. So I had the opportunity to look at your resume prior to the interview, and it's very, very interesting. It seems you're really involved in sports, both mm-hmm. from a volunteer perspective as well as a personal perspective. Yeah. So let's talk a little bit about that.
So just growing up, I was involved in a lot of sports. So played baseball, soccer, basketball.
Uh-huh.
Parents won't let me play football, but we won't get into that.
Wonder why?
Yeah, now with all the studies coming out, there's more objective evidence to keep kids out of it. But
right.
I wasn't the biggest guy either, so.
Uh-huh.
They didn't want me to get injured, but yeah. So growing up, I played a lot of sports, and that kind of carried over into college. When I chose mm-hmm. my undergraduate degree, I wanted to do physical therapy originally.
Sure. Oh.
Yeah. So I ended up doing my bachelor's degree in exercise science, and obviously I changed my mind. I didn't go into physical therapy. But that's kind of the reason why I chose osteopathic medicine, because it's more focused on the sports aspect of it. You can utilize OMT with sports medicine.
Right.
I was originally going to go into that, but family medicine drew me. We'll get to that later, I'm sure. But yeah, so my undergraduate degree, exercise science, and then now that I have children of my own, I have two boys. One's 7, one's 4. My boys are getting into basketball, soccer, just the beginnings of those. So.
Oh, that's interesting. And getting back to your resume, it's just quite interesting. One of the things I saw on there was that you assisted the production team for CBS Sports at the Greenbrier Classics for the PGA.
Right.
Is that correct?
Mm-hmm.
Tell me about that.
Sure.
That's really exciting.
Yeah, it was very fun. So in between, so going back to the sports influence, I guess, in between first and second year of medical school, we have a summer off.
Right.
And So I took the summer to caddy, and
Oh.
so I was part of the caddy team there, and
At the Greenbrier?
at the Greenbrier, yeah.
Awesome place.
It's a great place, great golf courses, and that year they happened to have the first year that they hosted this tournament. Yeah. And so they picked some of the, I don't know why they picked me, but I guess they thought I knew the course well. So they picked some of the more experienced caddies that were more successful and knew the course a little bit better, and so we could kind of help guide the production team to certain holes faster. And then I also worked sound with them as well, so you could hear them swing the golf club to add the experience. But yeah, so it was all around a great experience, and got to get real close. Talk with some of the professionals.
Wow,
And,
that's
it's pretty neat.
exciting. And that Greenbrier, that's such a gorgeous place. Being from West
Definitely.
Virginia myself, I had the opportunity to see that, and it's amazing.
It is. It's very pretty there.
Yeah, it's very, very nice and very expensive.
That too, yeah. But luckily I could golf for free there since I was a caddy,
Well, that's
so that
great.
worked out nice.
Yeah, free golf.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you like golf?
I do. I'm not very good at it though, so.
Oh, but this
I need
is a
some
great
lessons.
place.
Yes, so.
To live in this area,
Right.
it's a great place because you have so many golf courses at
Right.
your
In
beck
our
and call.
backyard,
pretty
yeah,
much.
exactly.
Yeah, and they're right
Exactly.
in your backyard.
Yeah.
That's right. That's right. Well, that's really interesting, and thanks for sharing all
Right.
that information.
Yeah.
But let's get back to business. So you mentioned your specialty is family medicine.
Right.
So tell me about your patients. Do you see patients of all ages?
Right.
What does that look like?
Yeah, so I see patients of all ages. In fact, I recently graduated from even delivering babies and seeing those babies until they got to
Wow.
about 2 years of age. So that was really neat. But yeah, now I'm going to be more focusing on children, newborns up until older adult ages. So the whole family. Take
whole
care of the whole
family.
family. Yep.
So how early in an infant's life would you see that?
Within the first week.
Within the first
Right.
week. So as soon as they're born and they're home, you would develop that relationship and then
Exactly.
take them clear up to Grammys.
That's right. Yep.
Why did you choose family medicine?
So in medical school, you go through your third and fourth year. You go through and you rotate
Right.
through multiple specialties,
Right.
and I was having the hardest time deciding which specialty I wanted to go
Really?
into. They were all great. I loved them all, and I thought, maybe I could have it all. So, as a family physician, you're kind of a jack of all trades. And
Right.
So I got to looking into it, and I really enjoyed my family medicine rotation. So I decided family medicine would probably be the best fit for me, because that way I wouldn't have to leave anything that I learned behind at medical
Sure.
school. You get to kind of dabble in a little bit of everything, and it's been great so far, and keeps you on your toes, always learning.
Always learning,
And yeah, so it's been really, so far, in my young career, I'm loving it. So.
Well, it looks like you've chosen a great practice to be in. And some of our viewers out there may not know too much about your Oceanside practice in Southport. So there's 2 other physicians there, I know. So let's talk a little bit about the practice.
Right. Yeah. So I'm joining a practice with 2 other physicians, Dr. Moore and Dr. Johnson, and they're both fabulous physicians.
They are.
And I
They
work
are.
closely with them. So.
And that's Oceanside Family Medicine in Southport, correct?
Right.
It's
in
on House
Southport.
Street.
On House Street. Yep.
Yeah. Let's talk about the hours at the Southport office.
Yeah, so I'm going to be actually offering earlier hours. So
Oh, great.
Yeah, so for any of you that want to, get in and see the doctor and be done with your visit and have
So
the
you
rest
can
of
go
the day
play
to
golf,
enjoy, to
or-
play golf, tennis, whatever. I'll be seeing patients starting at 7 in the morning, and
Wow.
then we have other providers that see patients up until 6. So 7 to 6 is our typical range of
Wow.
hours that we see patients.
That's great. For people who work, it is so nice to have those early morning hours or the
Right.
later hours so that you
Right.
don't really have to take time off work to see your doctor. Because a lot of times I think that's what keeps people out of the doctor's office. They
That's
just
true.
can't get into.
That is very true. Yep.
Yeah.
So having that access for our patients is one of our goals, and I think extending our hours by adding the earlier and having the later hours is going to be really beneficial for our patients.
And the address of the practice is?
It's 1456 House Street. So I just got there. So
1456 House
House
Street
Street, and that's in Southport, North Carolina. Yep.
And the phone number?
The phone number, I would have to look
We'll
on
run
my
that
card.
on the,
Yes,
we'll just
we will
run
run
that
that on the screen. Perfect.
That's
Perfect.
fine. So before we wrap up, is there anything else that you would like to add or share with our viewers?
No, I mean, really, I'm just really excited to become part of the community here in Southport and the surrounding areas. You know, I look forward to giving quality care to the whole family.
Absolutely.
So look forward to getting to know the people. And
it's a great area.
Practice.
It's a great area to practice medicine. I think you have a wide variety of folks and who come from all walks of life. So it should be very interesting for you, and I think you'll be very successful.
Well, thank you.